evening, everybody. Welcome to the Random Encounters Guild. Tonight we have uh, a new game that is Ned. Am I coming through your speaker or something?
Yeah, I just lowered it.
Okay. We're playing a new game tonight called Outgunned Adventure. There's a system titled Outgunned, which is it's a really fun cinematic. It's meant to be like an action movie. They've done a source book that is like John Wick. They've done. They did one that's adventure or action, like epic action movies. They just keep building on it. This is the new expansion of it, which is meant to be pulp adventure, a la Indiana Jones, The Mummy, uh, Tomb Raider, that kind of thing. It's a really simple system. We're going to break down, uh, and sorry, Kevin is distracting me. Um, we're gonna run through some rules real quick, just because it's that easy. We're just gonna kind of go through. We're not gonna touch on everything. Anything that we don't go on, we'll touch on as we do it in play. But before we do that, let's everybody introduce themselves. I am Guildmaster Scott. I started the Random Encounters Guild in 2019 as a way to play games with meet new people and play new games. And I always like to jump around from system to system. I like to try new games. I have a pretty large library at this point. Um, and speaking of that, if you would like to join us over on our Discord server, feel free to follow that link. All are welcome. If you're interested in getting into some new games, trying them as a player or as a GM, we'll give you a spot as a GM as well if that's what you want to do. That's me, Bryce.
I'm Bryce.
Making his guild debut.
Yeah, I've really only played the 5e, like the just typical D&D stuff. So I'm excited to play something that's different. So I've did a little bit of research, just kind of get an idea of the dice rolls, but I didn't want to get too into it because I didn't want to spoil any of the story stuff or any of the encounters. So, but yeah, I'm excited.
And Bryce is a extremely talented musician. If you've got a website or anything you want to throw up in chat, go ahead and do that, Bryce. I didn't think to ask you before we got started, but he's an amazing musician that you should all follow and check his stuff out. Ned.
I've been with the guild now for a while. It seems I've become the new playtester for most of the games coming in here. So it's very exciting to see new games and get into them and learn them. So
Now, Ned has played. You played The Expanse.
Yep.
Ragnarborg.
Pirate Borg.
Yeah, I think you've played all the board games except Cyborg. Yeah, Ned is pretty quick to jump into a game when I throw something out there. So, okay, so your players or your characters, Ned, you're playing Jason, who is the Indiana Jones. He's the Daredevil.
Reluctant hero. Yep.
Yeah. He is his archetype is Daredevil, but he's also the reluctant hero, which means he's not he doesn't want to be the hero, but he is.
Mm-hmm.
And Bryce is playing Raymond, who is the professor, the brain. So put you two together, you've got Indiana Jones.
Yep.
which I think is what you're going to need to get through this.
Actually, it's
Yeah,
Indiana
Nightbot
Jones,
doesn't
the
like
Mummy.
Instagram, Bryce. It never has.
It's okay.
I'm sorry, Ned. What were you saying?
It's like any of the adventure movies, like Mummy.
Exactly.
So
Like, yeah, I mean, you see the picture I posted of your character. Like, he actually has a whip on his hip.
yeah,
Like, he's got a whip and a gun and like the whole bit. There's two more characters. One is a pilot and one is a smuggler, who I'm assuming would be the character that um will be picking locks. It's the rogue of the group. Um, the pilot is pretty much a daredevil, but just has the ability to fly. We're not going to worry about flight in this story. So let me get down here to. I'm going to jump over to a screen showing the PDF of the rule book. All right. So the way this game works is I'm not going to ask you to roll every time you want to do something. Like, if you want to jump a small, like if it's something you can do, I'm not going to make you roll for it. That's not the way this game works. This game works on the premise of an action movie. You're fully capable of climbing a rope. I'm not going to make you do a climb check to climb a rope, because Indiana Jones can throw his whip up on the thing and climb up his whip. I'm
right.
not going to make you climb, do climb checks. You only roll dice when it's major, it's important.
Dangerous. Yep.
And the way we're going to do that, if you look at your character sheets, you have 5 attributes. You've got brawn, nerves, smooth, and focus, and crime. And then under each attribute, you have 4 skills. And so the way this game works is, when you want to try something, you tell me what skill and attribute you want to use. And the cool thing is, you don't have to, like, if you can justify it, you don't have to. If you want to do a stunt, you don't have to use brawn. If you can justify doing a stunt with focus, you can do a stunt with focus. You can mix and match your attributes and skills, but you have to give me some kind of reason for it. You have to be able to justify why you're doing it.
Okay.
So what you're going to do is the number of dots you have on the skill, and then the number of dots you have on the attribute. You're going to roll that many dice, and then if you've got a piece of gear or a tool that gives you a bonus, you'll get an extra dice. If there's some reason that you would get a negative, you drop a die. But once you've built your pool, you roll it, and you're looking for match. You're looking for 2 of a kind, 3 of a kind, 4 of a kind. It doesn't matter what you roll. It could be 1s, it could be 2s, be 6s. Doesn't matter, as long as you've got multiples of one number.
Okay.
And if I tell you it's a standard difficulty and you roll extra, you get something extra. Like, it doesn't just go to waste. It actually helps you to roll more successes. Now, you also, on your character sheet, you've got feats. They will give you bonuses in situations. You need to be on top of the feats and what they do, and when you can use them. Grit is your hit points. When I tell you that a roll is dangerous, if you fail that roll, you lose a point of grit. Or well, you've got a certain number of spots in grit. You would check one off,
Okay.
and once you filled that thing up, then we're rolling death rolls.
Okay.
Which is a completely, I don't know that we're even going to get to that, especially not tonight, but we may get to it in 2 weeks when we finish this up.
Okay.
Because it's a cool mechanic. If you notice on your character sheet, there's like the bullet chamber for a revolver.
Mm-hmm.
When you fill up your grit, when you get to the last of your grit, you have to roll a what is it called? Roulette. It's not Russian roulette. They changed it. But it's something roulette. Anyway, you have to roll. You have to roll, and if you roll 1d6, and if you roll higher than the number you've got in that chart, you're good. If you roll less, the same as, equal to, or less, then somebody either has to revive you or you're dead. So it's a really cool mechanic. So you could have all of your grit points will be filled up, but you're not like you're out of the fight. You're unconscious, but
Right.
it doesn't just automatically kill you. There's still rolls to be had. But as I said, we'll go through that once we get to it, should it come up. Luck. You have luck in this game. You can spend 1 point of luck to get to gain a +1 on your roll. You can spend 1 point of luck to activate a special ability. Your feats may have something that like you can use, but it tells you got to spend a point of luck. Now, this is the cool thing. You can spend 6 points of luck if you've got them to immediately get a spotlight. Spotlight is something that you come up with. It's the big Indiana Jones, like the super cool, awesome thing. You don't have to roll for it. You don't have to do anything. All you tell me cinematically what it is you're doing. Make it as awesome as you can possibly make it, and it happens. No matter what it is, it happens. But you have to spend 6 points of luck to get that.
Right.
And once it's gone, like you have to earn it back. You earn it by doing cool stuff. But that's a very cool mechanic. In another game that I love called Orbital Blues, they have a mechanic that's kind of like that. But it's when you're dying. It's called Final Scene. If your character is dying, you get a final scene in which it's just like that. You don't have to roll. You don't have to. You just say what happens, and it happens. But then you immediately die. I love Orbital Blues. We need to play more of Orbital Blues. So yeah, you get an action roll is something you're doing that you initiate. A reaction roll is something I will tell you. Like if something happens in the environment, I need you to give me a action or reaction roll, like your athletics roll or something.
Okay.
Or if you're trying to look for something, if you're wanting to look around and see if you can find clues or something, I would tell you what you need to roll for that. So yeah, this is what I was talking about earlier. Roll difficulty. A basic roll is a quick and easy action or reaction, like jumping over an obstacle, stealing the keys off of a distracted agent, throwing something. That would be 2 of a kind when you roll your pool. A critical roll is more of what you'll be looking for. It's full action or reaction, like bursting through a sturdy door, jumping out of a window, earning someone's trust. That's a 3 of a kind. Extreme is the next step up. You're looking for 4 of a kind. Impossible, you're looking for 5 of a kind. Now, the cool thing about doing the way this game works, you get rerolls. So if you roll 8 d6s and you get 2 of a kind, but you need 3 of a kind, you can take all the ones that didn't match and re-roll them. However, if you don't improve your roll, like if you don't get that third die, you lose the 2 that you did get.
Right.
If you improve it,
fail,
you
essentially.
improve it. But if you don't improve it, you lose all of it. You just fail. So you can use that whenever you want. There's no cost for it. It's like, I mean, it's for lack of a better word, it's like in Yahtzee. You roll, you get your matches set aside. Anything that isn't a match, you put it back in the cup and roll again.
Yep.
But you have to pay the cost. If you don't improve your success, you lose that success.
Okay.
Now you also some of your feats will have free rerolls. Those you don't lose your success if you don't improve it. It stays the same.
Okay.
And you can make a free reroll even if you didn't score any successes on the first roll. But you have to have a feat to make that happen. I think Ned, your character, I think has a feat.
I have 2 of them. One is
Yeah.
Gunslinger for my repairing, evaluating, or handling a gun, and Harden, gain a free reroll when scaring somebody or resisting fear.
Yeah. And then I don't think we'll get to this, but there's a mechanic called All In. If after a reroll or a free reroll, you got a better result, but it still wasn't enough. Say you needed 4 and you only got 3, even with your reroll.
Mhm.
You want to go for that 4th one? You can choose to go all in. Now you roll all the dice that aren't matched. If you get a better result, Lady Luck is smiled upon you. But if you do not get a better result, you lose all of the successes. So you don't even have the 3 that you had. It's called going all in for a reason. So there's plenty of chances for you to get, like, saying you need to get 5 of a kind sounds stupid, but in a very serious situation, there's mechanics here that it's feasible you could get a 5 of a kind. We're not going to worry about extra actions. Not going to worry about failures. And this is dangerous rolls. This is what I was saying earlier. When I tell you a roll is dangerous, that means if you fail, you mark off a point in your grit. And if you get grit back by resting or stopping and eating, it's just like any other game, really. Yeah, there it is. It's called Death Roulette. When you get to your full grit, it's called Death Roulette. Recovering grit, you can sleep, take a break at the end of a breathtaking scene, or after you faced a long string of dangers. The director can give the adventurers a break and allow them to recover their grit. And at the end of the session, I don't like that though, because I like to do cliffhangers. So I'm not going to let you recover grit in the middle of a
Right.
cliffhanger.
I am used to it.
And so here again, action turns like in combat. It's like, and like you're doing punching if you're going to punch somebody, but if you're sneaking up behind them instead of being brawn and punch whatever it is, if you're trying to add a sneak in there, you can do crime and punch because you're sneaking up on them. It's just a matter of what is going to give you the better chance uh, of success. We don't need to look at the trap section. All right, so yeah, that's pretty much it. This story is called Frozen Legacy. It's a pretty cool. Anybody that knows me knows I'm kind of a sucker for Vikings, and this is Indiana Jones looking into Viking culture, which makes me very, 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 very happy. So we don't need that screen anymore. Okay. So you two, Jason and Raymond, what is your relationship? Are you just adventuring partners? Are you just friends? Are you father and son, like in Last Crusade? But you don't have to be. You can make it be whatever you want it to be.
I think he's probably more of my boss, always sending me out on stuff to gather. I get any information or things that I'm not sure of when I find it. He's my main encyclopedia of artifacts and culture and stuff like that.
So you're business partners.
I think
Raymond
at this
like
point
works at the
probably
university as a professor.
Yep.
It's the two halves of the same Indiana Jones.
Right.
Yeah. What, if anything, do either of you know about Eric the Red, the Viking? I'm not talking about your characters. I'm talking about you. Do either of you know anything about Eric the Red?
I recognize the name. I can't pull memory out right now, so I feel like once we get into it, I might remember a few things.
Eric the Red was possibly the greatest Viking explorer, and over his eventful life, he witnessed incredible things and accumulated unimaginable wealth. At the beginning of the year 1000, he retreated to live in Greenland, a land he had discovered himself, and spent his days like a true Viking, refusing to follow his son's example by converting to Christianity. So a couple of days ago, Raymond, you were contacted by another professor, Casper Wylock. You don't know him personally, but you know of him. He's a very wealthy luminary, and he has reached out to you with a very interesting opportunity that he would like for you to partake and go out and find. I'm assuming you take the meeting, because otherwise we can just end the stream and go to bed.
No, he wouldn't take the meeting.
We're done. Good game, guys. See you later.
Okay, so yeah, he opens up a book, and he's showing both of you this information about Eric the Red, and all these maps and everything of Greenland. And he slides this, he reaches into his bag and he slides this medallion. It's about this big, round. Let me throw this up on the screen so they can see it. I put it in our chat in Discord just a little bit ago. It is a let me get to it. It is a metal disc carved with ancient runes. Set in its center, there's a sheet of hard rock so thin that it allows light to pass through it. And it's got these obviously Viking runes set into the metal. And Professor Casper Wylock, he feels like he has found the tomb of Eric the Red, the final resting place. And the assumption is that he would have been buried with all of his vast wealth. So, should you find this, not only would it be financially good for all three of you, but there's also all manner of archaeological study and finds that you could, it would further the knowledge of the Viking culture. So, what I need to know, and again, I'm assuming you're taking the job. I'm sorry. Hold on just 1 second. My wife and daughter just came home. My dog is having a fit at the door. I don't want her to start barking. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Sorry about that. They've been gone since yesterday morning. The dog goes nuts when they come home. When I come home, she acts like it's no big deal. So what I need to know, like you guys get packed and get ready to make your way to Greenland. Who has the key? He called this, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned it. He calls this thing Odin's key.
Okay.
I had it in text on the overlay when I went to it, but you guys aren't seeing that. So he referred to this disc as Odin's key. Who is carrying Odin's key?
Well,
go ahead.
The first thing is I'll have Raymond carry the key. However, I am going to draw the key on my chest.
Your chest?
Yeah, like a little fake tattoo.
Okay.
That way, I have a copy of the key, at least written on my chest.
All right.
Kind of how the German burnt the medallion in his hand.
Yeah. Let me look at something very quickly. I see a potential for humor in this. Give me a roll. This will be the first roll of the game. Give me a roll that is focus and detect.
Okay, so that's 4 die. I got a pair of 2s.
You want to use your reroll?
Yeah, let's go ahead and use my reroll. 3 2s.
Okay, very good. You did not draw it on your chest backwards because you were looking in a mirror while you did it.
What about that?
Okay, so you guys pack your bags and get all your gear together. You, of course, you're going to Greenland, so you're going to need cold weather gear. He told you it was up on top of a cliff. You're going to need climbing gear. And you make your way. And there's the classic shot of the map. Where are you guys located? Like, where in America is your residence? Like, what college does Raymond teach at?
I was gonna go with something super ridiculous. It'd be like, he teaches at
I mean, you can make something up as far as I'm concerned.
Let's do professor. He's university professor at. I'm not good with names, but it's a college that studies like historical artifacts. Like it's like a history college. It's all about culture.
All right. Well, we're going to call it Jones. We're going to call it Jones University.
Jones University.
No,
Okay.
Kevin, not Miskatonic. That's a different system. We're not playing Cthulhu. That is coming, though, by the way, coming up in a couple of weeks on Monday night, the 5th. We're going to have a very special Trail of Cthulhu game, which is going to be pretty fun. James is running it for us. It's going to be a cool game. So I'm just going to go ahead and say Jones is in New York. Jones University is in New York. That way you can get to where you need to go without a 5-hour drive.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So we see the map and the plane with the red line, and it's traveling from New York to up into Canada and then over to Greenland. I hope my geography's right. I'm assuming I'm good. I think Greenland is just to the east of Canada.
We'll get there eventually.
I was running an Alien game one time, and everything in Alien is in meters. And I was talking about this creature that was 2 meters tall, and in my head, I was thinking like 8 inches.
Yeah.
And then I was brought to the knowledge that 2 meters is like 6 feet.
Yeah.
I thought they had a tiny little xenomorph like this big coming at them. No, it was a 6 foot tall xenomorph. All right, so you guys land, like we see the plane landing in Greenland and you disembarking. Thank you, Star Drew. I was right. And the next thing we see is the scene opens and both of you are hanging on the steep wall of a frozen mountain. You could barely glimpse the end of the climb above you, while beneath thick white clouds hide a terrifying precipice. Nobody could survive such a fall. Your only option is to keep climbing and reach your destination.
I swing over. How you holding up there, Professor?
The professor is wearing winter clothes, so thankfully he's protected from the cold, but is not hanging on very well. He's just shaking as he keeps shifting to the side.
Now, I will say the way this works, you're tied together. Like, so what I need to know is who's in. I'm assuming it's Jason. but I'm going to leave it up to you guys. Who's going first?
Yeah, leading up,
Yeah.
getting
So
the
Jason
spikes
is
in.
climbing up and anchoring the pittons, and Raymond is coming up behind him, doing the best he can.
Yep.
So yeah, you have a rope between you. You're connected. You're going up single file, but you're close enough you can shout to each other if you want to talk to each other.
Right.
And it's just ruthless winds trying to yank you free of your handholds. So Ned, I need you to roll me a brawn survival roll to anchor to hammer in and anchor for Raymond to be able to climb up.
Is it nerve survival roll?
Brawn survival.
Oh, okay. So you can mix the two.
You can mix it, but I'm telling you this one is brawn survival.
Okay.
Like if you're initiating something, if something you're wanting to do, you can mix those. But when I'm telling you I need a certain roll, that's what you have to roll.
Okay. So that's 5 dice for me.
Okay.
No matches. Oh, actually, no matches.
And that means you can't do the reroll. You got to have at least 2 of a kind to do a reroll.
Okay, so
Okay. So you're climbing and you're hammering in these anchors, and you keep climbing up, and the professor is climbing up behind you doing the best he can. You continue your way up, and Raymond, you get to this this fresh anchor that Jason just dropped in for you. And as soon as you put your weight on it, it gives way. It just comes completely out of the ice. And you're falling. You've got the rope. You're, as I said, you're tied to Jason. But that could mean bad things for Jason just as well. With your weight suddenly dropping on him. So what I need, I need a reaction roll that is nerves and dexterity, and this is a dangerous roll. So if you fail this, you're going to mark a point of grit.
Nerves and dexterity. Okay.
Nerves plus dexterity. And remember, look at your equipment and feats. It may give you something extra.
Yes.
Or it may give you something less.
I have 2 pairs. I got 2 4s and 2 6s. So
hold on. That means something. Hold on. Let me go back and check. There's actually a mechanic for that. We didn't discuss it.
We didn't think it would happen.
if you don't think it's going to happen, it'll happen.
Where's it at? Okay, so here's what I'm going to say. You need, I can't find it just right off the top of, just right here, easy. I don't want to waste too much time digging around through this PDF. What you need is a 3 of a kind.
Okay.
So you can use your reroll, and you can take one of those pairs and put them back in the pool.
Okay. And this is considered a reaction, right?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
you're reacting to
Uh,
suddenly falling.
I'm gonna take one of the pairs and re-roll the 2 dice to try to get another
Okay.
6. I'm gonna try to get another 6. It just rolled 2 4s again. So it did not make that, but I do have a feat, which is after failing a reaction roll, spend 1 luck to cause a positive turn of events.
Okay.
And I do have, at least to think on the sheet, it says I do have 1 has crossed out 1 luck point, so I can use that luck point
Okay.
to succeed on the reaction roll, even though I failed it. The adventure may
Okay.
not be over just yet.
So, all right. So, Ned, I need you to roll brawn plus endure.
Oh, okay. So that'll be 6 dice.
And this is also a dangerous roll. Oh, by the way, Bryce, mark off one of your grit.
Okay.
2 pair of 5s and 1s. So I am going to re-roll the 1s and the other 2 dice.
All right.
And then I end up with 3 6s.
Okay.
Instead of anything with the 5s.
So Raymond climbs up, and I mean, you got 3 6s though.
Yeah.
All right, you got 3 of a kind. And Raymond's using it, burning his luck. Raymond grabs a hold of this anchor, and it just comes off in his hand, and he loses grip and falls. He shouts out. He alerts you to what's happening. And you, with your right hand, you grab and find a good, strong handhold. And with your left, you swing around and grab the rope. So it's not, you've got some cushion there.
Yep.
And Raymond actually falls. Like he goes the full length of the rope, and he's hanging there, completely horizontal. But he only fell 6 feet.
Right.
Because you managed to grab that rope, and you've got, I mean, it hurts. Like it's not cool. It's not comfortable for you. So Raymond needs to grab a hold and get himself situated as soon as possible. But
don't worry, Raymond. I've been through worse.
And as you're looking, like holding on the rope, and Raymond's like just kind of frozen right now. I'm like,
just rotating on the rope,
right,
just swinging
slowly. Right. Not quite sure if he's been caught yet, so it hasn't quite set in yet. He's like, this is why I stay as a professor.
So yeah, you managed to scramble and find a handhold and get yourself back on the mountain. And Jason goes about giving his hammering in his anchors, and you manage to get to the top of this cliff. You manage to reach the summit. Once there, you can clearly see an imposing burial structure that looks like a small mausoleum nestled in the frozen landscape. Professor Wylock was right. The tomb of Eric the Red exists, and it looks like you found it. It is sitting out on this almost like the cliff is coming out to a point. So you guys climbed up one side. On the other side is the sea. Like you see the ocean as far, like it's just like this thing is reaching out into the ocean, and it's like the perfect Viking, tomb.
Right.
Uh, what do you want to do? Do you want to look around, or do you approach the mausoleum? What would you like to do now that you've managed to get up to the top of the summit?
Definitely start looking around to kind of just check some of the symbols and make sure. Like we were coming here because we thought it was going to be here, but now that it's here and it's like in front of him, he wants to just make sure and double check that like this is what we thought it was. So he's going to look for like some like old symbols, just some kind of marking to say like what this is to make sure he can like confirm that it's the one they're looking for.
Jason, what are you going to be doing?
I'm going to be securing the rope and the gear to
Okay.
whatever I can that's up there that's secure.
All right. May need to make a hasty retreat,
Mm-hmm.
or you could just jump off the other side into the ocean if you had
It
to.
depends on how far it is.
So on top of this mountain, the wind is even harsher than during the climb, carrying the threatening sound of waves that crash hundreds of feet below.
Yeah, I don't
Raymond, are
think
you
jumping is
looking
involved.
over the side? Like, are you just looking at the mausoleum? Or are you looking around the cliff? What are you looking for?
I'm looking around the cliff. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, Raymond's gonna be looking at the mausoleum. He's not gonna he's gonna kind of stay somewhat near his partner, and just to make sure, because this is probably one of the first times he's actually been on one of these adventures. So he's gonna stay a little closer and not like go in right away, but he's gonna just kind of look at it from a distance, kind of see if he can spot any markings or symbols that he recognizes.
It's it appears to be an appropriate tomb for a Viking explorer who ruled the sea 1,000 years ago. It's located in such a beautiful and unreachable place. It is a classic Christian monument dating back to the year 1000, composed of a large memorial stone standing out against the sky. The huge gravestone is completely surrounded by ice, wedged deep, and decorated with a Christian cross and the inscription Sicut Vixi Ego Relinquiu. If you would like to translate that, that would be a focus culture roll. And it would only need it would only be a basic roll. You would only need two of a kind.
Focus. And you said culture?
Focus culture, yes.
And what was it?
I don't.
Sicut Vixi Ego Relinquiu. SICUT VIXI EGO RELINQUO.
Now, I may need a new set of glasses. I see the focus, but I don't see one labeled culture. So I don't know if there's a different name for it. At least on the character sheet.
Let's go with no. Focus and no.
Okay, cool.
That's weird. Must be a misprint in the quick start.
I do know that when I was looking up on it, there's a quick start and then there's like the official version, and they made a couple slight adjustments, so could be. Let's see.
Hey Quasi, how you doing, buddy?
Is Joel? Okay, so I got 2 ones.
Okay, so you you kind of look at this and translate it uh, as I lived, so I depart. And you also see a slot in the tombstone is shaped exactly like Odin's key. Now,
Hmm.
Ned, what are you? Are you just hanging out, like you're gathering up the rope and securing things, or are you going around to the other side? What are you wanting to do?
Yeah, once I get everything secured, I'll kind of get a feel for what's on the around the tomb and see if there's any other writings or entrances to the tomb.
It doesn't appear to be. Like I said, you don't see a lot of Viking like runes. Like there's no like it there's it's all Christian things. It's a cross and like it looks straight up like a Christian mausoleum. It doesn't look Viking in any way. This is the location that a Viking would be laid to rest, but this mausoleum does not look Viking at all. It looks Christian.
Well, that would make sense since his what was it?
His son converted.
Son, his son was Christian, so burying him in a Christian mausoleum makes sense, whether he wanted to or not.
Hmm.
So yeah, all right. So I'll get back to Raymond and then check out the entrance door.
So you guys are standing there in front of this gravestone, and it's got this inscription on it that, as I said, it translates "As I lived, so I depart." And there's a slot that looks like it's the exact same size and shape as Odin's key.
Okay.
What do you do?
I hold out my hand to the professor for the key.
Yeah. Raymond will hand him the key and then like take two pretty large steps backwards. And as he stepped back, like, just in case.
Eh, don't worry, everything always works out. Stick the key in there and see if it turns or clicks or.
You insert the key into the slot. The tomb starts to shake, provoking an actual earthquake that causes the mountain summit to crumble. The whole side going out in the ocean falls
Mhm.
away, and both of you are going with it. We're going to take a break. We're gonna take a quick couple-minute break. Go to the bathroom, get drinks, whatever we need to do. Everybody, stay with us and find out how these two morons get out of.
Nimrods.
Why would a Viking be buried in a Christian tomb? Come on, dudes. Um, but yeah, we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. It won't be a 5-minute break. We're just gonna hit the bathroom, get some drinks, be straight back. Stick around with
All
us.
right.
We'll be right back. thank you for sticking around with us and not being snarky about it, Kevin. Things happen. You know that. All right. So you guys triggered a trap and are
Yeah, we did.
falling into the ocean along like hundreds of feet into the waves. What I need from you, I need a brawn plus stunt from both of you. And you're looking for 3.
Ooh, okay. I have 3 5s.
I got a pair of 2s and a pair of 3s, so I'm going to keep the 3s. That would be 4 3s.
4. Okay. And Bryce, you got your 3?
Yes, I have 3 5s.
All right. Awesome. You hit the water. Now, of course, all your okay. This is what's going to happen with your extra success. You guys hit the water, go under, and like struggle with all the rocks and everything sliding around. You both break the surface at the same time. And Raymond looks up and sees a large cave, like going into the side of this mountain, that appears to have been opened. You know, I don't. Nobody knows if you would have seen it if you'd looked from up top before putting in the key, but you see it now. You guys break the surface, and you see this large cave, and as you're both like treading water, looking up, and Odin's key drops right in front of one of you, and you manage to grab it.
Give me that.
That's with your extra success. Would you rather have Odin's key or your climbing gear?
Odin's key.
All right.
If we spot a cave, maybe we won't need the climbing gear.
Don't worry, Professor. I've been through worse.
You can hear Raymond muttering to himself like, "Oh, Christian burial site. He wasn't."
Don't worry, it happens all the time. Just so you know, that's my catchphrase on my sheet. I've been through worse.
It's a good one. I should have listened to my catchphrase. It would have helped us out there. Mine's "There must be another way." Hindsight sucks.
All right, let's see. So are you, I assume you're making your way to the cave entrance?
Yep.
I'm assuming, like you said, we're in the water and we can like see the cave entrance.
Yeah. The cave,
toward-
the water is going into the cave. It's not like you got to climb up to it. It's the water. You can swim into the cave.
Yeah, and immediately start swimming towards the cave.
You reach the entrance of a sea cave. There you find a path leading deep into the icy mountain. The cave appears to be of natural origin. But if you want to give me I should have written all these down. A focus detect.
Is this to like see if it's more man-made cave than it is? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll go. I'll go ahead and Raymond will go ahead and try to take a look while he's swimming in. Let's see, focus and detect, right?
Yep.
Okay, 6 dice.
Hey, thank you for the raid, Film Gamer Party. Our fabulous friends at Film Gamer Party. I hope your stream went well. And Sharon took didn't throw too much shenanigans at you.
We got our own shenanigans over here.
Okay,
so I have 2 pairs.
No matches for me.
Okay.
Like that was, I should ask that before we even started. Is there a way for me to know if just a pair can succeed at this? And then
you're good. It was a basic roll, so you only needed a pair.
That was kind of like a hidden mechanic to like give us a chance to be like,
Like as you guys climb up out of the water, and of course you're freezing and you're trying to get warm. But Raymond is looking around, and while this cave appears to be natural, someone or something caused a collapse a long time ago that significantly narrowed the entrance. It appears to be like it used to be a lot bigger than it was, and now it's kind of a more narrow opening, and you didn't really see it from the outside, but you can notice it from the inside.
Oh, okay.
You gonna start making your way in?
Yeah, as we're like kind of swimming into like the entrance of the cave, Raymond immediately is gonna start trying to look and see if he can find anywhere where there's solid land they can climb up onto.
Yeah, there's like off to like we'll say the right. There's a like a ledge you can both kind of climb yourself up, and a walkway is there, like a narrow kind of ledge there that you can walk across that leads further into the cave. As you start making your way into the depths of the cave, the temperature rises noticeably. However, you are surrounded in darkness. You need to locate a source of light. Luckily, there are the remains of appears to be Viking skeletons all over the ground. Some of them carry crumbling weapons. Others carry rotting torches.
Okay. Are there any like rotten cloth or anything on them?
Yeah, you can light them, assuming you have a source of ignition, which I would think one of you. I would think Raymond smokes a pipe and Jason probably smokes cigars. But I could be wrong. I'm assuming one of you has a Zippo. I'm not going to quibble on it. So
Yeah, I mean,
you can both grab up one of these rotting torches. Um, okay. I need a. Doesn't give me a. What would that be? That would be a. So you're going to try to light this frozen, rotting, wet torch. You have a means of ignition. The skill you need to use is survival.
okay.
That is under nerves, but if you can justify to me using something else, focus, smooth, crime, if you can come up with something that would let you use, but the skill is going to be survival. The attribute, I'll let you guys pick if you can justify it.
Can I go with like awareness? Um,
No, that's not an attribute. It's brawn, nerves, smooth, focus, or crime.
okay.
The skill you're rolling is survival.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm letting you pick the overall attribute. If you want to use nerves, which is where survival is, then that's fine. But if you can justify a reason that another attribute is coming into play, then I want to that mechanic. I want us to do that.
I'd say for Raymond though, because I was thinking through it. I think with Raymond, I'd probably keep it as just nerve survival because he's obviously way out of his element here.
Okay.
So, because I was gonna argue for focus, but like he is not focused right now, so
that makes sense.
All right, so I'm rolling 5.
What's the attribute you're rolling?
Survival.
No, but what's the attribute? Nerves, smooth, focus.
Nerves.
Okay,
survival.
you're just staying with nerves too. Okay.
I get 3. Ooh.
You are looking for, if I remember correctly.
So if I was going for a straight, I would have gotten it.
You're looking for 3. This is a critical. This is a critical, so you're looking for 3.
Yeah, so if a straight counts, I got it.
Straight does not count.
So, even so, I have 2 2s. There's no like partially succeed here. There is. I need to get the 3. Just want to make sure.
Now, I mean, the reroll is still there. If you want to do the reroll, but if you don't improve your roll, you lose it. But yeah, you're looking for 3. It's a critical roll, so you're looking for 3 of a kind.
Yeah. So I basically said. I guess my question would be like, then I have to go ahead and just try to get the 3 because the 2 won't get me close to it at all. You have to be 3 or nothing.
Well, it's there. We'll see what happens, but yeah, if you want to, this is for something in the future. I'll say that.
Okay. All right. Did not get an extra 2, so cancels out the pair of 2s.
All right. Ned, what did you get?
I had a straight, remember?
That does not count in this game, Ned.
I know, but I can't re-roll it because I don't have any pairs.
Oh, guys, you didn't have any pairs. Okay. All right. You're right. Good. I'm glad you remembered that because I completely forgot it. All right. So you both light up your torches. You find a couple of torches that look like they're kind of sturdy and uh, maybe the best shape that you can find. Um, you manage to get them lit, and you now have a light source.
Okay.
Um, you proceed down, continue to proceed down this path further into the cave, and the ice beneath your feet. You notice that it's no longer ice. It's stone,
Okay.
and it's finished stone. Like it's man-made. It's put there. It's smooth. Um, you like Jason holds his torch high, and you both see the beginning of a man-made hallway that is ancient.
I say Raymond will start. I guess start keeping an eye out for like this, like the sides on the walls and stuff, and maybe on the floors, just to kind of see if there's any indication of what they're walking into, aside from just the finished stone.
Yeah, pretty much looking for loose stone or gravel in there that um, looks like it might be hiding something, or just an odd design in the stonework as we continue.
Okay, you continue, and like it kind of narrows down into like an actual corridor. It's got walls and a ceiling. Like it's stone. It's obviously man made because, as I said, it's smooth. It's finished.
Right.
You're not in a cave anymore. You walk through a door and into a small room. And you see a stone statue of what you would only assume is Odin, the Norse god. He is holding a golden spear in one hand, and he has a golden eye patch over his left eye. And on the floor of this room is an array of tiles. And let me drop that into. All right, there is the tiles for you, and here is the tiles for everybody watching on stream. So you're looking at this big statue. Like I said, you assume that is Odin. He is holding a spear. He has an eye patch over his left eye. What would you like to do?
Um, Inspect the eye patch. Does it? Would it be movable?
You can't tell from this distance, but you can make out that there are runes that look similar to the runes on the key,
Okay.
like almost like identical. But you can't tell if it's movable from here. It's on the other side. It's on the far end of the room from where you're standing.
Okay. With this pattern on the floor in front of us.
Yeah.
Hmm. I guess Raymond's gonna kind of look around and see if he can find any markings that has like actual language or words written on anything. He's not gonna step forward though. But
Everything is the only inscriptions you see are on his eye patch, and they're Viking runes that, as I said, like if Raymond looks at them, like we'll say Jason like points them out, so look at his eye patch. They are actually identical to what is on the key.
on the key.
The floor. Do we need to cross from north to south or east to west?
In my head, you're at the bottom, and you're
Okay.
going up of that
Okay.
image that I shared.
All right. So the walls are on either side.
Yeah. Yeah. The walls are on the left and the right. You're at the bottom of that image, and the statue is at the top.
Okay.
Now on the medallion, you said that the middle part was like super thin.
Yep. That it actually allowed light to pass through. I'll share that image again for the people who have shown up after we got started. This is the key that they were given. It is a metal disc with Viking runes, and in the middle is a piece of stone that is so thin that it allows light to pass through. I love this. This is my favorite part.
That's it. We don't really have a giant thing of light to shine through the medallion. We got the torches, I guess. Can Raymond try to like hold the torch up behind the medallion, see if it like shines like a symbol through the middle, or?
I mean, like if you like you're holding it out like this, like just putting the torch behind it, it doesn't project anything, but like you could definitely see the light coming close to it. It like you can see through it.
Okay.
It's allowing you to like if you were, it's light is going through it as you hold it up, but it doesn't project a symbol or anything out.
So looking at the center of the medallion, all the waves that are in there, are there the same amount of waves as there are blocks going across?
No, that's just illustrating that it's stone. It's actually it's a piece of stone, but it's just so thinly carved that it allows light to go through it. But those waves going through it, that's just to illustrate that it's actually a piece of stone.
Okay. I wasn't sure if they matched up with the waves that are in the stone itself on the floor.
Yeah, they don't.
Okay.
Here again, remember what I said when we went to break. If there's a roll you want to make,
That's it.
you tell me what you want to do. If it's investigate, if it's knowledge, if it's, if you can justify it, that's the way this game works. This isn't 5e or Pathfinder.
Yeah.
This is the three of us are coming up with this story on the fly. If you can justify what it is you're trying to do, then it happens.
Okay, you mentioned the eye patch and then the medallion having the same symbols. Have we discovered what the symbols mean?
No, nobody. That is a thing with Viking culture. There are loose translations, but for the most part, it's not known. Like you wouldn't have that knowledge.
Okay.
So is there like a pattern on the floor that I can try and figure out with either like survival or uh, detect?
You can. I mean, I'm not going to make you roll. There doesn't seem to be a pattern. Like you can see in the image that I shared with you. Uh, it's just a series of flagstones that are. It looks like they were placed randomly to
Is
the
there
naked
anything
eye.
hanging? Is there anything hanging from the ceiling?
Nope.
About how long, like from when we entered the cave system where it was like flat land into here, about how far away was that?
Uh, 50 feet.
Can Raymond go back and try to find some like heavy equipment they found?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, like the weapons that there were swords and shields. They were all rotten. Like you wouldn't want to try to use them. Like if you would want to pick up one of these shields and expect it to block anything,
Yeah.
but they're there. You could easily grab one.
Okay. Raymond's gonna go back and try to find just a shield and maybe like a small sword. Got two hands, might as well use them.
I'm gonna slowly on the first set of stones, um, slowly tap on each of the stones. Do they resonate any differently going across?
They don't appear to. They're all like stone. They're made out of stone.
Okay.
We're literally going to spend the last 45 minutes on this
Probably.
All right.
because I'm
So-
not giving you anything.
Is there anything that I can tie me down with, like tie an other end of my whip or something to it, in case I fall?
There's nothing. There's not an anchor point like in the walls or anything, but Raymond could hold it.
I don't know if you wanted me to do like some sort of roll to see if I was able to find what I was looking for out there. or if I just
No, they're readily they're there.
Okay.
Like yeah, you found a shield and a sword and like they're just littered across the floor.
So yeah, Raymond.
Do I still have any?
Good.
Do I still have any pittance in my pouch?
You want to burn luck?
Sure.
All right.
I'll
Yeah.
burn a luck.
Yep.
Okay. So I'll use a pitten and kind of get it into the ground and then secure myself and the pitten and then take a step on one of the stones.
All right. Which one?
Okay.
That's a scary question.
You got 5 to choose from left to right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which one?
Number 1.
All right. The statue of Odin lowers its spear and it is pointed at you. And suddenly the room is just like water crashes in, the seawater. Like Raymond is coming back with a old rusty beaten up sword and shield and he walks through the room, walks through the door just in time for water to just boom, and come crashing through and you both need to give me. You're getting flushed back down the hallway that you came through. Give me a brawn endure roll. This is critical. You need 3 matches. You need 3 of a kind, and it's a dangerous roll. So if you fail, you mark off a grit.
Now, I also am secured
Okay.
with the pit and the whip.
Okay.
So I don't know how you.
So if the room
that.
fills up, you're going to drown because you're tied to the floor.
Well, if it fills up, then I know I can swim out somewhere. But I don't want to be washed away because I assume that it may drain out.
Okay. It was endure. That's the one that cannot be changed, right?
Brawn and endure.
Okay.
And you're looking for 3 of a kind.
Can I make the argument
Right.
for focus only because Raymond saw it happen from the distance, so he had a second to react rather than being caught off guard?
Does he probably hear me scream?
Yeah, the water didn't land on him.
I don't think, technically, by the way the game rules, I don't think I'm supposed to, but I will let you do it because you're making a point. You literally said you were going into the other room and you're coming back, so I'll let you do it. But I think technically by the rules, you're supposed to roll a brawn endure, but I'll let you roll focus endure.
Okay, that gives me an extra dice. I like that.
So I rolled 3 1s.
Okay.
Can I?
2 2s.
Well, no.
Okay, but I need 3. Let me re-roll these 2.
But if I do a re-roll and don't get another 1, I lose 3 1s. Okay.
Okay, 3 2s.
Okay. So yeah, you both like the room starts filling up, and like the initial wave that comes through, you both manage, like Jason was tied off to this anchor in the floor, and Raymond saw it happening, and he drops this shield and sword and hugs the wall. And this water, this initial wave just hits you both, but instead of getting swept back out, you manage to hang on. But the room is filling up. What do you do? Statue, as I said, he's holding a spear. When you stepped on that tile, the spear moved. His arm moved, and the spear pointed at you. Then this wave hit. Room is filling up with water. What do you want to do?
Raymond's going to try to make his way to the statue and try to lift the spear back up to where it was.
All right.
Well, I also swim across to where the statue is.
Okay.
Okay. So we're both over there. Taking a closer look at the eye. Do I notice anything at that point? Like, is the eye patch movable or anything like that?
Actually, yes, the eye patch is movable. Once you get right up at it and you're right there in his face, the eye patch is movable.
I look at Raymond and point at the eye patch.
Okay.
And if you want to, are you just trying to move the spear? Are you assuming that it's a mechanism and you're trying to break it? Like you're trying to.
I'm trying to, because the spear was in one position and then it moved to a second position. I'm going to try to put the spear back in its original position.
All right, give me a fix roll. You see fix on your character sheet?
Yes.
Can I assist with that?
I think you're looking at the eye patch.
Okay.
Fix and then
I'm going to say it's going to be brawn.
okay. I can't argue with that. It's just not gonna be very much dice.
And you're right, Star Drew. I've been waiting on that for the last 20 minutes.
Raymond, when Raymond's like, I got an idea. Hey, I brought some heavy stuff. Oh no. Okay. I have 2 1s. I have to get I've gotta get 3.
Now, keep in mind your feats and like anything you've got, any gear, anything that's on your character sheet that will give you a bonus, like that's a very serious thing. I did not look at your character sheets before I sent them out to you. I don't know what you have. So I'm trusting you guys to keep track of that.
I have winter clothes, a journal, and a pencil. Don't really think a journal's gonna help. Let me write down the statue real quick. All right, here we go. There we go. Come on. Big money, no whammies. I got another one.
All right. So
Brilliant.
Raymond like grabs the spear and like shoves it back up, and you actually hear like some gears grinding against each other, and he gets it, like he seems like he locks it back up in place. Ned, you notice the eye patch is movable.
Right.
Do you move it, or are you just pointing it out?
I just pointed it out. And I kind of signaled to Raymond, should I move it?
I guess as Raymond's kind of like, you can like hear the like, you can hear like the gears twisted and stuff as he's trying to put the spear back in place. He would basically just yell back like, "Let's let me get this back in place first, see what happens."
What do you do, Jason? Are you gonna wait, or are you gonna move it?
I'll wait.
Okay. Raymond shoves the spear back up into place, and you hear it like just like, and it like seats, and you hear something snap. And behind the statue, a large, like pretty much what was the wall, slides up. It's just a big, massive stone door. And all the water starts draining out. And like it's almost up to your knees, but it's not filling up anymore. It's no longer a danger.
Raymond will look over and like ask like, we want to grab the eye patch and ride the water out the opening.
I wouldn't say the eye patch is something you can remove, but
it's just movable.
You could move it from one eye to the other.
Got it. Okay.
Give me a no. Whatever it is, clever and roll, or no.
No focus. Let's go. Let's see. 2 6s. Sounds like I need to
reroll.
Yep, rerolling. 2 3s. So no new 6.
I'll let you trade in the extra success for the third one. Historically, Odin's missing eye was his right eye, not his left.
Okay. So Yeah, then Raymond like basically like the the heat of the moment, everything, all the water crashing in, just didn't have time. But as the water starts escaping, Raymond takes a second and he'll share that. And be like, I do remember now, like Odin's eye patch would have been on his other eye, so we can move the eye patch to the other eye.
Okay. All right. So I move the eye patch over.
Um, just because the door begins to shut.
Move it back.
Move it back.
Okay, it stops and goes back up.
Well, it doesn't like that.
You only needed to do one of the things. There were 3 ways you could get out of that room. One of them was to fix the spear. One of them was to move the eye patch. I'm just saying the door was shut because it was already open and you moved it. So I'm just throwing that in there just for me because I'm a dirty GM. But you move it back and the door slides back up. But other than that, it doesn't appear to have any effect.
At this point, the water's kind of like mostly gone out of the room.
Yeah, it's like just below your knees, but you can get through it. You can walk through it.
All right. So we'll make our way through behind the statue then.
And through this door, you see a light at the end of a long passage. You follow the light and you reach an amazing view. A huge chasm opens right before you in the glistening ice, stretching to the dark depths of the earth. Here, the temperature is sensibly higher than on the surface, and you can, you almost feel like you need to take off your coats, like your heavy winter clothes. Especially if you're wet, which you are. And here is a good place for you to take a break. I know Bryce has a couple of grit marked. I don't remember if Ned had any or not, but
yeah, I wasn't showing any grit mark.
Okay. This is a good place to stop and catch your breath and reset your grit.
Okay.
Would that also reset our luck points, or is that
no
different?
No, you have to earn the luck.
Oh, you gotta earn it?
Yeah. And you goons have not done anything to earn the luck.
Hey, I stopped the water.
But if you had looked through the center of the key, maybe you would have earned some luck.
See, that's what the whole like the torch thing. I was like trying to see if like anything showed up, but I was like,
you have to hold it up to your eye. You have to look through it at the floor. There's an actual pattern on the floor.
Yeah.
If you and I mean it's over and done with now, so I can tell you. His eye patch is on his left eye. But you have to know that Odin's missing eye was his right eye. If you look through the key with your left eye, you see a path, but it's false. And the trap goes off. If you look through it with your right eye, you see a path that will get you across safely. But the key was looking through the center of Odin's key. That was what you needed to do. Like I may have been wrong. I felt like you were expecting something to project through it.
It was like either that or seeing something starting to glow on the medallion, but like
Yeah.
it would have.
No, it was you had to pick it up and look through it. You had to hold it up and actually look through it. And the first thing I was going to say was which eye do you use? So, are you going to take a break here?
Yeah. We need to catch our breath and kind of relax it for a minute or so.
And also, another cool thing that's written in here, doesn't matter anymore, but when you both lit your torches and you failed, that you both failed the lighting roll. When you got to the midpoint of the floor, even though you saw the path, when you got to the midpoint of the floor, your torch was going to snuff out.
Oh,
and you'd be in the dark and not know what stone you were stepping on. That's the consequence for failing that roll when you lit the torches.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is cool. This whole mechanic is like this game has a thing where like a failure is not a failure.
Mm-hmm.
You failed that roll, but you still lit the torch.
Yeah.
But
it just makes it more difficult.
Somewhere down the road, there's going to be a consequence.
Yeah. Right.
That's cool.
Which I think is cool. It's a cool way to handle a failed die roll.
Yeah. That's neat. I like that a lot.
So you guys take a break and catch your breath. Bryce, you can reset your grit. As you're sitting there looking up, you notice two things. You easily realize that the chasm beneath you also expands above you, cutting through the frozen mountain like the throat of a sleeping volcano, and ultimately opening in a distant vent that allows sunlight to reach the depths down to where you're at. Secondly, there's a huge Viking ship suspended in the middle of the chasm, with both bow and stern wedged into opposite ice walls.
Ooh.
And that's where we're going to call it a night.
Is it called the Inferno?
You don't know. You're going to have to get closer.
We got to find out. Tune in next time.
I thought we might actually, if we hadn't taken that time to like go through the rules at the beginning, we might have gone through this all in one shot. But we got just enough left. That's why I'm ending it a little early here. But we've got just enough left where we can. In 2 weeks, we'll come back in 2 weeks and continue and finish this. We'll definitely finish it next week, our next session. But yeah, I actually I'm really liking this. I'm digging. I in general I don't like a game where the GM doesn't roll anything. But I'm kind of enjoying this, and it may just be that I'm a sucker for Indiana Jones. That's my safe space. So that may be factoring into it. I enjoy telling a story like this. So, but in general, I like to be able to roll dice too. But yeah, what do you guys think? This is a new system for all three of us. It's generally a new game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a new gameplay that I've encountered. Like I said, I've been doing a lot of different indie games and stuff like that. So it's interesting how this is more player-driven story than it is a direct storyline because we have to make all the critical decisions.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's meant to be like they actually went for a cinematic, like they want it to feel like a movie.
Right.
Yeah.
They want it to feel like an Indiana Jones or a John Wick or
Mm.
the Expendables. They want it to feel like an action movie, and I honestly think, for the most part, they nailed it.
Yeah.
We're
This is
definitely going by the way of the Goonies.
and Goonies.
Yep. This definitely feels like the Goonies.
Well, with you two, yeah, and I can only imagine. There was rumblings before we kicked off tonight that Awar was going to join us, and I can only imagine what would have transpired had he been able to join us because he's a chaos gremlin. So it I'm sure things would have escalated rather quickly.
We would have found all those traps a lot faster.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna make him. I was gonna have him play either the pilot or the smuggler, but as on the character sheet, both of those characters are female. In the book, there's a picture of a dude in like a tank top t-shirt with suspenders, and he has a handlebar mustache and a cigar, and he's lighting like there's 5 sticks of dynamite, and the cigar is in his mouth, and he's lighting the dynamite with the cigar. And that was that was Brett's token. I was going to have that be his character token on his frame. But I was going to have him play one of those pre-gen characters. But I found that image and I was like, oh, that's Brett. that is totally Brett. But yeah, for everybody watching, this has been a game called Outgunned Adventure. Let me jump up the screen. And it is a newer game that is, as I said, it's meant to be very cinematic and resemble action movies. And this expansion of it is specifically written to emulate pulp adventure like Indiana Jones, Tomb Raider, Uncharted, The Mummy, that sort of thing. That's what made me want to try it. Is I was watching the Indiana Jones films a couple of weeks ago, and I found this, and that we've spiraled down the rabbit hole since then. So
Probably.
Yeah, go back and trigger all the traps. Actually, there's no more traps. All the traps have been like
triggered.
Everyone you've come across to this point has been triggered. They're null and void.
See, now it's safe to go back out. No problem.
We can explore
freely. But yeah, I hope. Thank you to Film Gamer Party for the raid earlier. Thank you to Star Drew for hanging out with us, and Joel, my buddy Quasi. Bryce and I both are buddies with Quasi. He's a drummer. He runs a channel where he plays MLB The Show. and that loser just got back from the beach. I don't know why he's watching us when he's been at the beach for like 2 weeks or something. But thank you to everyone who joined us. As I said, this has been Outgunned Adventure from Two Little Mice, and I believe they are out of Italy, because when I downloaded the book, I got the English version and an Italian version. So I believe Two Little Mice is headquartered in Italy. But I just from this experience alone, I'm interested in trying the original version of Outgunned. It's more like a modern, action movie with guns and the whole bit.
Mhm.
I also have the quick start for that, so that may be coming up. We may actually play that at some point. So with that, we will sign off. Let me see if there's anybody going right now that we can raid. Since we got raided, let's. Doesn't appear to be. It looks like everybody is shut down for the night. At least everybody that we follow. So yeah, with that, as this has been Outgunned Adventure, join us in 2 weeks for the exciting conclusion to Frozen Legacy. Next week, next Sunday night, we will be kicking off our playtest game of the mechanic that Kevin and I, Milner Press in chat, and I have been working on a game called Chain Theory for the last several months. He is running it at Gen Con. He is actually going to be at Gen Con. He is running 3 tables. Hey, that's you. He's running 3 playtests of it, which he's braver than I am. I don't know if I could be able to pull that off with people that I don't know. But we are going starting next week, next Sunday night, we're going to play. I started digging around looking for something new to run, and we're going to play the site Weatherstone from Forbidden Lands. I'm going to just take that spot, that site from Forbidden Lands, and apply our mechanic over it. I've been sitting on Forbidden Lands for 2 years. I really wanted to get into that game for a while. So this is going to be my reason for doing it. They use a lot of random tables and stuff, and I think it will work really well with Chain Theory. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you are interested in joining us for that, we have seats open. You can join us on our Discord server and just sign up to play. It's open to anybody that wants to join. With that, we will see you in 2 weeks for more of Outgunned Adventure. Say goodnight to everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.